Hey guys, it's Ross Scott, and on the Space Couch today we're going to have a look at this, the second of the John K. Morton volumes. Lost Airline Liveries, Airline Colour Schemes of the Past. Same tagline that was on the previous one, but this is airlines that no longer exist. You see here Pan Am, Britannia, and is that Ultra Air, I think? Yes, and then on the back, Canadian Pacific, I think that's Braniff, that's northeastern US, and who's that one? Airline. So let's just go through. Eastern Airlines 727. I always liked their livery, it's beautiful. Air Europe 757, they went bust in the very early 1990s. When BA made its initial order of, I think it was 19 757s, 2 of them were for Air Europe. It was interesting that there was 2 included for them. Cal Air. This is basically what British Caledonian Charter became, I think, after it was spun off out of British Airways, because they sold it off after a while. So obviously it's still got the lion on the tail that's now red, but a more modern livery at the time. They were then sold off further and they became Novair. Same basic livery, but obviously it's a star instead now. And there you see what airline is that. London City Airways. Capital Airlines, and who's that one? Holiday DC-8, Canadian Charter Company. Then we see Aeronica, I think that's one from the other one. UTA, the French carrier, they had DC-10s, 747 400s and 300s, and 737s, I think. I'm not sure what else they flew. Who's this? Aeronica, again, they're older schemes. Appropriate for the current, I suppose, the Trump shuttle. There's its hub at LaGuardia, there's a couple of them, there is a full portrait of it there. Now there's a rare shot. Pan Am DC-10, these are the ones they inherited from the takeover of National Airlines. There you see a Pan Am 747 in the final livery. And I think that is, yes, goodbye Pan Am, thanks for the memories after they closed down. More Pan Am planes, it's Airbus's A300s, A310s, 747. Look, there's only 2 windows here. One of them has been blocked in. Does it say why? No, it doesn't. That was August 1990, that 747, yes. There is that an A310? 727, and they did the helicopter service from JFK to the Pan Am building in New York, and they shooted it over helipads as well. Yes, it was an A310. Sunworld International and Skyworld, so there's Sunworld DC-9, and there's a 707. Presidential Express, they would have been a commuter airline, and that's what is that? Bahamas Express, is it? Yes, the Bahamas Express. Although it's Pacific Interstate Airlines, is being used on charter flights to the Bahamas, hence the title. Majestic Air. That's a 727-100. It's very short. Yeah. And there's a Gulf Air, not the usual Gulf Air, but the one that's based in the US. Gulf Air Transport. Odyssey International. That is actually the colour scheme of Air Holland, who also went bust, and that is their colour scheme, their actual one, Odyssey International. So many Canadian charter airlines over the years. Air Europe, there's one of their 757s. There is a lineup of their 737s, that'll be at Gatwick, there's another one there. And they chartered a 747, I think that's from Air New Zealand, one summer because of the increased holiday traffic to the Mediterranean, I assume it was. Yeah. And then Dan Air. I think that might be a 100 as well, the old livery. And there is a 200. I didn't realise there's flew 737-200s. And this is Dan Air, but it's in a partial other livery. It's at Laxa. Yeah, a Costa Rican airline. So that's what the tail is. Now they did operate their own A300s. In fact, there's one of them there, but that is the Hapag-Lloyd colours, so it was leased in from them. And there's one of their 727-200s. It's very attractive in that livery. But that looks... Where is that? Yes, because if you look, it's Sun Country, so I think this is like Las Vegas or somewhere. But yeah, always nice to see an A300 in UK colours, because it was them and Laker had some. Yeah. Aero Maritime. I think they were an offshoot originally of UTA, hence the very similar liveries. It's basically like a French postal airline. Orion Air and Lion... Oh, sorry, is it Orion Air? Orion Air and Lion Air / Caribbean Airways on these 747s. There's two of them together there. So that a real mix-up of liveries there. That looks like a Wardair 747 in the background of this one. Very attractive livery on that, the LTS. I think that was a Spanish sister company of LTE or LTU in Germany. There's probably pictures of them in here as well. Key Airlines and Key Air, I think they're separate companies on this side. And who's this? Worldwide Airways, is it? Worldwide Airlines. There's an ambitious title, eh? A couple of commuter airlines. Northeastern. Very attractive livery. I think they're based in New York. The clouds in the sky. Based on Long Island from Islip Airport. Small fleet of WTC-8s, which was later supplemented by the acquisition of two ex-Pan Am 727s. Flights centred on the eastern seaboard of the US, taking New York, Florida and Boston. Northeastern, this is one of the earlier liveries. Now, who are these two? This, I think it's at Quebec Air, does it say? Quebec Air, but very similar to the United livery of the time, the Cheat Line. And who's this? Midway Express. British Midland, one of their old planes. And Piedmont in the US, late part of USA. I mentioned before Republic in the previous book. You know, there was North Central and Southern Airways that merged, and then they had that attractive two-tone blue livery. But when they took their 757s in the early 80s, they had a new livery, and it's this. And it's very attractive with the red and the grey. But that livery sadly didn't last very long, because they then got taken over. And there you see Pacific Western. Very attractive livery. Oh, get back there. Braniff now, and some colour variants, because I think we saw the brown version of this on one of their 787s. Sorry, 787s. DC-8. Imagine a Braniff 787. And obviously the orange colour scheme that was exclusive to the 747s. Nation Air. Two of their liveries and their 757s. British Caledonian, DC-10 and 707. Helicopter, it says Gatwick Airlink, but I think it's operated by BCAL. And there you see it's a Danair BAC 111, but what airline does it say? It says British Caledonian on it. So again, I guess a lease or something. There you see Transavia 707. Very attractive, that old 70s livery. 60s livery it might be, actually. One of the giants. See, Eastern DC-10 and L1011s. These are the ones they use up and down the eastern seaboard. These flew the Gatwick service, and there is an A300. And the A300, being taken on by Eastern, broke the US market wide open for Airbus. And there you go, 727 coming into land. Société Antillaise de Tourisme et de Transport. So that'll be a French Antilles carrier. Is that 707? And this got no engines, that's a private jet. Pan Aviation, yeah. It's a 720 in fact.
Trans-Australia DC-9. They're long gone now. There's Ultra Air 727, very attractive livery.
Orion Airways.
That is their livery. They've leased in a Lufthansa A300 there. And there, I'm not sure if that says Orion.
Midway, so it was on lease.
Classic. CP Air DC-10, love that livery. So that's that one. And this, who is that?
Jet Air and Aero Virgin Islands. An Aero Mexico DC-10.
Very attractive, that 70s livery. And there is, who is that?
Tampa Airlines, Tampa, Colombia.
Rich International, who I have flown. Not this plane, it was one of their TriStars. There's a Ward Air DC-10, and there's a DC-8 of who?
Fawcett. They also had TriStars, and that one that was leased, and that DC-8 that was leased to Air Jamaica we saw in the previous book. VASP,
One of the old Brazilian carriers long gone, a 727 and a 737. They also operated DC-10s and MD-11s. So that Jet 1, I think that says, very nice livery on that 727.
Air 1, sorry. East African Airways.
We've seen previously a DC-3 and is that 707 in the background. There's back 111, 727.
Bavaria is the back 111 and Transair Sweden is the 727.
Overseas National Airways. And who's that?
Interconair.
Flying Tigers. Classic. I think it was Federal Express they merged into. It was either them or UPS.
Some commuter planes. British Island Airways.
Back 111. There's a 707 and a DC-8.
Trans-International for the DC-8 and Sky Safari for the 707. Then Aspen Airways.
Back 111. That's one of the old Convair or Electras or something. Very attractive livery. Colour variant schemes on the two of them.
Total Air.
That's very attractive actually on that TriStar. Scanair, I think, is that. It was like a SAS holiday charter offshoot. And then those, who are they?
British Air Ferries. Guernsey Airlines.
Very attractive Hispania Caravel. Then who's this? On that
707. Worldways. Worldways Canada. They also flew TriStars and I saw one of them at Manchester Airport. Air Panama.
Various colour schemes. All 727s. Some commuter airlines. And then Northwest. Their classic 70s livery. And that was the one that they used for their freighter fleet. Just all natural finish. Ransom Airlines. The old 70s Philippine Airways livery, and the updated version was remove the cheat line and add the sunburst. But it looked so different and still looks quite modern, their current scheme. But that's the one on one of the old A300s.
It's advertising The Love Bug, the movie.
An Airlift DC-8 and a commuter airline.
Britannia Airways.
Saw their 737s in this colour scheme at Newcastle. That looks like, I don't know if it's a modernised version of the scheme or if it's just like a leased-in plane with a partial scheme.
Subleased to the airline by the Icelandic airline Eagle Air. Flew for Britannia for 6 months before returning to Iceland.
Air Haiti 707, I assume a freighter. That's a very attractive livery.
So yeah, Unifly Express is the red one. Skybus 767.
That's a nice livery on there. There's a little
commuter plane. Amber Airways is the 737.
There's Airways International Cymru again. Who's this DC9 belong to?
Air Puerto Rico Airlines.
Couple more commuter planes.
Air Atlantis,
And obviously that is the old TAP livery, so that was their charter offshoot. There's a Western DC-10. World Airways DC-8. Emery 727. And who's this? 727.
Dominicana.
Taino, who I don't know who they are. Inter-European, they're long gone now. They also flew
A320s and 757s. And then we just have Air Wisconsin,
which was basically a United Airlines franchisee.
So there you go, guys. Lost Airline Liveries by John K. Morton. All those airlines no longer around, and so many more have followed since. The next one will be the flying colours, the airline colour scheme of the 1990s, which is when I got that book. So it'll be interesting to see if all of those liveries have changed and which airlines are no longer flying out of that list as well. But for now, I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or suggestion for a upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.